Good evening, everybody. This is Caesar with the Battle Rhythm Podcast. I am here today. It's another Tuesday evening here in the beautiful Texoma area of Texas. And let me just say that today's show is probably going to be the best show so far or yet in my 18-month career of being a podcaster. And let me tell you something. Today's guest is, first of all, in our community, in the VFW community, this man needs no introduction, but I'm still going to introduce him. So let me just tell you that it is by far the best honor I've ever had of having him here. And you'll see an old friend of ours that's been here before. Somehow he became one of my sponsors. So thank you, EGA Construction, for being one of the sponsors for tonight. And let me just send out the shout outs. First of all, let me do my radio introduction. You're here with the Battle Rhythm Podcast on Voice of the People, USA Radio and TV Network. Also on BC Digital and on Patriot Radio out of Florida. And we are here at Podcast on Main on Split Window Studios. Brought to you by EGA Construction and Scott's Construction LLC, and also one of my new sponsors is the American Legion Writers Post 231, the Missing in Action Post out of Lake Texoma. They are sponsoring my website, so they are so awesome. The fact that they're helping me out with that, and I am just so excited the fact that we're able to do it. So, with that said, I am going to introduce. Actually, I'm not even going to introduce him. I'm going to let my video introduce this guest, because this is how we do it here, and this is the interview of the week.
A techie guy.
Welcome back. You are not a techie guy, but you know what? We took care of you during that break. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, my interview of the week is the current Commander-in-Chief for the VFW National, Mr. Al, the real deal, Lipphardt. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm super glad to be here.
Well, we're super glad that you're here as well. And he's super cool for school today because, he's wearing his sunglasses at night inside. So we are just delighted, because if he was looking at me with those beady eyes, I'd tell you what, I'd be like, yes, Chief. No, Chief. Yes, sir. Yes, no, sir. So we'd be doing that. And another great person that's here with us tonight. He was here last week as one of our guests of honor, Mr. Lynn Toomer, the past state commander for the VFW Department of Texas.
Hell yeah.
There we go. There it is. The infamous hell yeah. So, gentlemen, thank you for being here tonight. I know Lynn has been doing his escort duties tonight pretty much all day. So, Chief, I want to thank you for first changing and rearranging your schedule to be here with us tonight, because I know it's already an hour ahead for you because you live in Georgia. So, and then flying out here, you said, nope, if I'm going to do a podcast, I'm going to do it in person. So thank you for that. It's very, very honoring, very honor to be here. So so thank you for that. So let's start off with just what happened just today. I mean, it was pretty much a full day, wasn't it?
It was.
You started at like 2 o'clock in the morning?
2 o'clock in the morning for us. I had to get out of bed. Well, we didn't actually go to bed. But we just kind of hung out until 2 to get ready to go to the Atlanta airport to catch a flight to come to Dallas, and where we were met by Lynn and Karen Toomer, and they transported us up. And by the way, I'm not sure that he's got a side gig going, but I'd highly recommend him as an Uber driver.
That's his side job. Yeah, he's got to raise money for that campaign. I tell you what, that's why he's doing that. Exactly why. So, but yeah, and then what? You guys stopped at? You guys had some pretty good breakfast, I heard.
We did. We had a little bite to eat in Atlanta at 5 o'clock, which really wasn't. I didn't really feel like eating at 5 o'clock in the morning. I would have preferred to have been still sleeping. but we did that. But when we got to Dallas, the old hunger bug hit us, and so kind enough to stop and have a little breakfast. And you came over and joined us. It was super.
When you guys called, when Lynn called me, he's like, "Hey, I'm 4 minutes away from this place." I was like, "I will meet you there because I was about to go get some food right now, so we're good to go. Let's go." And it was awesome. So it was good. Lynn, how you doing, man? I haven't seen you in like a week.
Outstanding. Yeah, it's been a day or two.
Right? How was the drive up here? I know you're the one that was doing
awesome.
the hard work.
I had the Commander-in-Chief and Carol. It was outstanding.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of meeting your wife as well this morning. Wonderful gal. I mean, it was so awesome because I kind of caught her off guard when I was asking her questions at the post. Because I ended up taking up to the VFW post and I asked her a question, and the commander had the great honor actually represented the VFW at Normandy this past year, and it was their 80th anniversary. And I asked Carol, how was the experience? She's like, "Where did I go?" And she couldn't remember. She's like, "I usually have a notebook of places I've gone." Caught her off guard completely, and it was funny because she's like, "Man," she's like, "I love going to all these places." She's like, "But I've been to so many that they're all like, they all seem like it's the same thing." I'm like, "The one at the beach." She's like, "Oh yes." She was like, "That was a great." So she I don't know if she felt embarrassed. I felt bad for her asking at the point, but it was like it was cute. It was really cute.
Yeah, she was definitely surprised.
yeah. And then man, I'm telling you, like I kind of wanted to take it easy, like I said earlier, with the interactions, I guess, because I know they were already tired and they wanted to do all this stuff, and traveling and doing this at the end of the day it's hard. But I was able to bring the mayor from Sherman, and he was so excited to have met you. He's like, "Why don't we have this all the time?" I was like, "Well, they don't want to come all the time, So how was that? Like, you got to meet the mayor, you got to talk to him. What did he say to you? Because I know he pulled you to the side and you had plenty to say to him.
I did. It was a very good conversation. I'm just so humbled when people such as himself feel honored to meet me, and actually it's I who am honored to meet them. It's serving in this position is not something that was ever on my radar screen, although I've had a lot of things happen in my life that I wasn't expecting. But as he and I talked, he presented a proclamation from the city with a lot of whereas and whereas and whereas. And as I was looking at the proclamation, I thought for a minute I saw whip ass, and so it was good when I realized, no, that says whereas.
Yeah, because you didn't have your glasses when you were reading it.
Did not, no,
he was focused on whip ass.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, he knows me already.
I'm in trouble.
He saw your congressional testimony. He's like, yeah, he's whipping ass. Yeah, it's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, but it was very good. That's Sherman. I didn't even know there was a Sherman, Texas.
Well, for a long time, it was known as Sheridan.
Sheridan.
Yeah, because it's Sherman, Denison. It's like two twin cities.
Okay.
And Denison is where President Eisenhower was born.
Yeah.
And so they have a big monument here, and they still have his house up down yonder, not far from here. It's here, and I believe he was actually a member of the VFW as well.
He was
so,
one of, and that's I've tried to research back and see why do we call our national commander-in-chief, and our sister organizations and brother organizations, they call them national commanders. Well, for me, the reason is that we've had, if memory serves me correct, 9 presidents of the United States who were members of the Veterans of Foreign Wars.
Yeah.
So that's again, not everybody can be a member of our organization.
That's right.
And Dwight Eisenhower certainly was a warrior to be respected, and a president to be respected as well. So carrying the title Commander-in-Chief is it's good.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think he was, if memory serves me right, my history memory, I believe he was only one of 4 or 5 that were actually 5-star commanders.
Yes, correct.
Because it was MacArthur was one,
right.
Eisenhower was the other one. I believe
Bradley was another.
Bradley was another one, and then there was a couple more, but I can't remember.
I can't remember who they.
Nimitz.
Okay, yeah.
Admiral Nimitz.
Nimitz.
Yep.
And side story on that one, Admiral Nimitz. I lived in Point Mugu, or Ventura, California. Point Mugu and Port Hueneme are right there. Well, the Navy has Point Mugu, which is the Naval Air Station. Well, the Naval Air Station, before it was the Naval Air Station, it was owned by a family. Well, the house was still up in the hill, overlooking the entire bay of Oxnard or Port Hueneme. And one day, this is the base commander was telling me the story, because I took a class there, and he was telling me he was already retired. He was past commander. So he's sitting there and telling me the story. He's like, yeah, so that house that sits up there, the gentleman that owned that house owned all this land here where the Naval Air Station is now. Well, the government approached them and say, hey, we would like to build a thing or a base here. And he's like, well, let me think about it. Well, the next time the government approached him, Admiral Nimitz himself went and talked to the guy. He says, okay, I will lease it to you for, I believe, like $1. He's all, anything the Admiral Nimitz wants, Admiral Nimitz will get.
Absolutely.
And he got it. And it, to this day, that Port Hueneme, Point Mugu, it's still there as a Naval Air Station. And it was an incredible story. And you to think these little anecdotes of history that happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just like, Admiral Nimitz, I was in a Nimitz class aircraft carrier. And just to think, the magnitude of the name and what he carries and all it is just, to me, it's magical.
Yeah, bigger than life people.
Exactly. So with that, let's just, I know we got a little off topic. I like to do these little anecdotes always.
Yeah.
You never know which way the show's going to go.
You don't. People ask me, do you take notes for the show? Do you have any questions? Like, no, I never prepare for a show, because I just feel like sometimes I'm having a conversation, right?
Exactly.
And I have an idea where I want to go? Absolutely not. I mean, I don't, because I don't know. I feel like something takes away from the fun of the show. You can't shock people if you do have like, oh, let's talk about this.
Yeah. When I get an opportunity to speak to groups, I'm fond of saying, if you've heard me speak before, you'll understand what I'm about to say, and what I'm going to suggest to you is, if you'd like a copy of this presentation, you should start taking notes now, because I don't know what I'm going to say. I just I speak from the heart, and that's it. These are conversations, and that's what we need to have more of is honest conversation.
Exactly. And like I mentioned to you before, we have our society, current society, has a tendency of always forgetting the agree to disagree. Right now, it's like, oh, it's my way or no way. Like, oh, I'm just going to storm away. It's like, no, we need to agree to disagree. You're like, okay, you have your stance, I have my stance, but there's no reason why we can't, like, hey, I disagree with you, but I'm still friends with you. We have forgotten that.
And the other part is, what's your agenda? I don't have an agenda. We're just talking.
Yeah.
That two people that just met, but we didn't just meet. We've known each other all our lives.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is we're both veterans. We're both combat veterans. and we know each other's heart.
Yeah.
And it's not about me, not about you. It's about the nation.
Exactly. And for us, the nation is our organization.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, and get involved. If you want change, get involved.
Yep.
Grassroots campaign is the main thing. And you know this.
Oh, hell yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
People all the time talk about, I want to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to be the difference that you're looking to make, because we lead by example, and that's again what the Veterans of Foreign Wars is set to do, is lead by example.
Yeah, and it's and I say this all the time, me being able to have this platform, I'm able to ask certain questions that sometimes people don't want to ask, but they're thinking it, right? And am I being, a shock jock? No, I'm not. I'm just asking these, these questions because there are people want to ask, but they don't know how to ask.
Right.
And if it takes me to put you on the spot, then I will put you on the spot in a respectful way. I'm not going to come at you and say, "Yo, you know what? You said this in 1995, and what did you mean by that?" No. That's not the way it goes. It's you have to be very respectful of how you approach somebody in order for you to even start a conversation.
And then when you invited me to come, I jumped right on it, because this is the future. What you're doing is how we're communicating more and more. The mainstream media has gotten so far afield of anything that would border on integrity that it's platforms like yourself,
thank you,
that are going to take over, and we need to, as an organization, we need to find ways to support and get our message out there. And the best way to do that is from within.
Right.
We don't need to go outside. We have so much talent within our membership. We have people of wealth. We have people certainly of character, that, again, those are the people that can make a difference, because they already made a difference.
Yeah. And you said this before. This is one of your talking points for your campaign, that technology is what we need.
Absolutely. I mean, without the technology, and I mean, we're actually doing it. We're not just talking about it. We're doing it, and we're doing it right here. And this is where everybody's going. If somebody would have told me 20 years ago that e-gaming would be the big thing in the VFW, I'd have said, no, hell no.
Well, first I'd have had to say, what's
e-gaming? Exactly.
What's e? I don't know
now,
what that is.
Now it's one of the biggest things going.
And I would have never thought that either. And a lot of people my generation, I'm close to 50 now, but younger veterans are really into gaming, right? For me, I was still an outside kid. I grew up, you knew where everybody was because all the bikes were parked out in the yard.
That's right.
That was my generation. The lights came on. Oh, got to go home. See you guys tomorrow.
Yeah.
My parents said, get out of the house 7:30 and don't come back till 7:30.
Right.
What am I going to eat? That doesn't matter. There's berries, there's apple, whatever. Bye.
Go to Johnny's house and eat.
Yeah, that's pretty much, yeah. With one different friend a week, and we'd get food, but different generation where now the younger veterans are and I can say this because I was one that didn't want to get involved or go into the VFW, because I remember being heard of these, it's just a wall of smoke, and it's it's dingy, and it's just all a bunch of old people, and I don't want to go in there. And as I started getting more and more involved, you started going to these organizations like, you know what, we can definitely make this a much more family friendly type of establishment where we can actually have those family things, riding bulls, or having the inflatables, out in the parking lot. That's what we need.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We just did our first Mother's Day brunch this weekend, and we've got a brand new auxiliary. They've been with us a year
Right.
now. We just had to fit their first birthday. And one of the ladies was standing there afterwards, and she was looking around, and she goes, this is really a family environment. And I was just so happy. I was grinning from ear to ear.
That's great.
Yeah.
Never thought you'd hear that in a VFW.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, the kids were there. Everybody was there having brunch with their mothers.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
How did you get involved in the Chief? When you started, you said you started pretty late in life as far as being in the VFW, right?
Yeah, I did. I think again, I'm not a whole lot different than anybody else. And
Mm-hmm.
when I got out, I wanted out,
Right.
and that out included being secluded. But over time, I realized that I really missed the fellowship,
Right.
the camaraderie, the genuineness of it.
You could say it. The shit talking.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking shit to each other.
Yeah.
It's we can do it to each other.
Yeah.
Don't anybody else do
Nope.
it. It's a
Nope.
good way. It's a good way to get your
Yeah.
butt beat.
Yeah.
So,
And there's 2 against 1.
yeah.
So we're fine.
Yeah.
We
exactly.
got 2 Army against one
You better
Marine.
go get 2
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 more. You need 2 more.
Oh.
And you said two words that are code. That is, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's bullshit.
Yeah.
I know better.
Yeah.
Because I was fine too.
Uh-huh. And how'd that work out for you?
Exactly. Not well at all.
Yeah.
Not well. And that's when I really realized that boy, I needed to find that again, that brotherhood.
Right.
And you can't fake it. You either are or you aren't.
Yeah.
We have this is it's an amazing thing. I said earlier that not everybody can be a member of the Veterans of Foreign Wars.
Correct.
And so you look at how many ineligible members are in our organization. Why? Because they want to be one of us.
Mm-hmm.
We are unique. Many people call us heroes. We call ourselves warriors.
Yeah.
None of us set out to be a hero, but we did what we were trained to do. And I don't care whether you were a cook or whether you worked in the janitorial services or what you did. In the final analysis,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's is a grunt. Everybody's an infantry soldier. You're going to find a weapon.
Yeah.
And because that's what we were trained to do.
Ultimately, that is what you become.
Yep.
That is your ultimate, oh shit moment.
Absolutely.
That is you.
I earlier today, I don't know if you recall, I was reflecting back on past Commander-in-Chief Richard Eubank. At the time, he was a past commander chief from California.
Mm-hmm.
And he said one of the most terrifying orders that you receive in combat is fix bayonets,
Mm-hmm.
because shit's going to get real.
Yeah.
At that point. And we're just we are different.
I had Doc Ballard, Medal of Honor winner, not winner, a recipient,
Right.
A couple weeks ago, and he mentioned that. He said, I had to defend my my wounded, because he was a doc, right? He was a corpsman. Had to defend my wounded, and he's got to the point where I had hand in hand combat, and the other 3 are shot. So he has 6 confirmed kills. And you're right. He said that at that point, I'm like, did you think about it? He's like, no, did not. It just happened. And the bayonet was like the last source. And I was like, incredible story. No wonder he is a recipient of the Medal of Honor. And to your point, yeah, different, way different when it says that.
Thank God we're trained as we are trained.
Yeah.
And you don't, I wouldn't call it muscle memory, but you stop thinking and what you're doing is reacting, and you're hoping that your training will allow you to be victorious.
Yeah.
But it's cruel, but that's again, that war is not a spectator sport.
No, it is a participation sport.
Participation, yeah. Whether you want to be or not.
Exactly. And then, like you were saying, everybody in the military, regardless of your job that you have in the military, you have 100%. You're essential at that point. You know what I mean? Like you said, cooks. Hey, if it weren't for them, I wouldn't eat.
Exactly.
If it weren't for the people in the Navy, they call them the HTs, which is basically the plumbers. If they weren't around, the salinity of the water would not be able to. The engineers, they would not be able to turn that water.
Just say it. The shit stops flowing.
That's it. I keep forgetting shit is your favorite word.
Yeah.
Shit, I forget. So yeah, but again, if it weren't for them, we would have backups everywhere. We would not be able to do. We would not be able to drink water, whatever. Dead in the water, whatever your job was, essential. And people, you're right. People don't give anybody credit on that, and we need to.
I covet my membership in the Veterans of Foreign Wars because I was blessed to be sent to war. Because not everybody goes.
No.
And I remember that there's a lot of, and it's one of the reasons people want to join our organization and be one of us.
Right.
But you've got to understand that anybody that dons the fabric of this nation in uniform and serves honorably deserves to be respected. And the highest respect that our nation can pay to a service member is an honorable discharge.
Yeah.
And that's why these people that want to embellish their records, why? You got an honorable discharge. You can't get anything higher.
Right.
The fruit salad that was there, the ribbons and the medals at those, those are for specific events, but you don't need to embellish it. As long as you served with honor, by golly, you've earned my respect.
And you got to figure, for every one of us that were in the combat zone, boots on the ground, there's 100 people it took to get us there.
Oh yeah.
And, and boots on the ground.
Yep.
Wasn't for the quartermaster, I wouldn't have any boots.
Exactly.
I wouldn't have had a uniform. Of course, uniforms only came in 2 sizes, too big and too small.
Not too fat, too big.
No.
Too big and too small.
Yeah, right. You wearing your little brother shirt?
Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, you're right. It's, if it wasn't for some people, they would not be able to eat and sleep. Everybody has a good job.
Thank God there was a finance officer, because I was at war. I wanted to make sure my family was receiving my pay, so that I didn't have to worry about what was going on back home.
Yeah.
And so they were important.
Yeah.
There is no non-essential personnel in war.
No. Somebody just popped on the chat.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you want to do this, because this guy, I can't stand this guy even when I talk to him. So, and apparently he just got a haircut, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna look like. Yep, he looks. Eric Dudash, can you hear us?
Hey, I can hear you guys. Yeah, I did get a
Uh-oh.
What's
haircut.
going on, Eric?
Hey, Eric.
Hey, what you guys doing? You looking good, y'all?
Well, thank you. Thank you.
I'm sitting going like, why? What just happened right now? You know, Eric, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. We just finished having a good post meeting. You know how it goes, and conducting a business, getting the community service all lined up. You know, and talking to some new veterans. Got to meet another Korean War veteran tonight, which was absolutely amazing.
Oh, you did?
Right? Does that ever? That'll never get old. It'll never get old.
Nope.
Never get old. So yeah, it's been going good. How about you guys?
Oh, you know, we're living the dream one number at a time.
We
That's right.
I got to meet a man of history today.
That's right. You did.
Tootsie Roll man.
The Tootsie Roll man.
Oh, you met Tootsie Roll?
Yeah. So you've met Tootsie Roll, huh?
No, I just seen this video a few times.
Okay. Yeah. I got to meet him today. That's a, he doesn't tell stories about history. He just tells history.
He is the history.
He is the history.
Exactly.
He is the history.
Yeah, he didn't have to read about it.
No, and that was thing. So I set it up. So I was able to actually get his handler, as they call him, Doug Brown. He's another Vietnam vet, first of the 173rd paratrooper. And I said, "Hey, Doug, I have the chief, the VFW National Commander coming." I said, "Could you please bring Mr. Han?" He said, "Yeah, no problem. What time? Where?" I was like, "Come on, you already know it's the post." And I said, 1:00. Bring him over, and we're gonna have him meet the commander. And he's like, "Done." It's like, I'm like, and you already know he's already gonna bring his Tootsie Rolls because he did. And I think it was great. And I'm gonna post a video later because I do have it where they were sharing the Mr. Han was actually telling the story of the Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah.
And what were you thinking at that point? We're like, what is going on right now? Is that what you were thinking?
Just that first off, at 95 years old or 96, he's sharp as a tack.
Right.
Yeah, he's very, very well aware of his surroundings and what's going on, and to have that recall, it is amazing. But yeah, to hear the story of how that came about, and it was a misunderstood code word.
Yeah.
And so they called for Tootsie Rolls, and by God, that's what they delivered.
That's what they got. Yeah.
Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah.
Could
But
you imagine.
he did say that they were using it. They were heating it up just enough to actually plug the bullet holes. And it was so, 92 degrees below zero. He's like, I would have never believed it. I'm like, you're right.
Yep, kept them warm.
Yeah, and it's the crazy thing is that they had a reunion for the Chosen Few not long ago. It was a few, like maybe 4 years ago, and he went, and they asked there, like it was, I think it's like the Marine Corps League, I believe, and I think they flew him out to like San Diego or something. They said, hey, so let's get the oldest Marine and the youngest Marine. So the oldest Marine was Mr. Han, and the youngest Marine was, I think it was like 22, 23 maybe. And at that point, it's like, wow, that's crazy that the amount, 70 years span between the two of them, and you are thinking, how many conflicts have been in between both of them? Yeah. So Mr. Han was actually, Gunny Han was right toward the end of World War II when we first enlisted,
right,
and he got out. I think right as the Vietnam War started.
He did World War II,
Korea and Vietnam.
Yeah.
So just to think the history.
Yeah.
When I tell people about him, I just tell them, like, look, I said, if you really want to see something, you will never see a 3-war veteran. You know what I mean? And there's several, because we have another one at the post, and right now he's not doing well. He's at the hospital, but he's also Air Force. he was fine.
Yeah.
You know, at that point they were still getting some refrigerators and all that stuff, so they had it good for them.
Yeah.
You know? So, Eric, your haircut looks pretty good, man.
Did you get them all?
Yeah, I had to.
Wow.
Yeah, I had to, snazz up a little bit when I was getting in front of you guys. I got to make sure I look, the part. I got to make sure I'm looking good for you guys.
There you are. Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey,
Yeah.
but
Look at that.
as always, I got a face for radio. Just always remember that.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Why'd you come on? It's fine. It's fine. We'll edit that part later.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
All right. So I also had we were talking earlier before Eric rudely interrupted us. No, just kidding, Eric. The mayor came and then he gave you that proclamation and I called the mayor on last week and I said, hey, the commander is coming. I would like for you to come and be a part of this. He's all, absolutely, I will have no problem with it. Let me make sure that my schedule is good. He's all, I will move stuff around, and he did. And he wanted to actually come and join us for dinner and actually come and to the podcast. It's like, but I already had another event that I can't get out of. I would have loved to because I think this is great. And so he was really excited to meet you, and obviously you had already met him at the golf tournament. So didn't even know who it was. He actually contributed to your golf tournament without knowing.
You gotta lay them QR codes down everywhere.
Yeah, without a label or anything like that. Oh, I just ended up giving them whatever it was. So it was awesome. But the other thing that we were able to accomplish with the chief was that I was able to get the local news station to come out and really promote. And we've been talking about marketing our organization forever, and how better to do it with the local station. And the kid that was there, because he was a very young reporter, right?
Yep.
He was asking you questions like left and right. He was there for a good 30-40 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep. And what were you feeling at that point when he was asking these questions? I mean, first of all, what did he ask you?
I don't know.
We will have that interview later on. So yeah, the chief doesn't know what he's asked him.
I don't know what I said. Yeah. He just asked me a question. No, he wanted to know, why at this point in my life did I want to take on this opportunity, and I told him why, because again, it's we need to get back to the roots of this country.
Yes.
We need to instill what we learned in the military, the values that we learned, to rattle them off, the loyalty and duty and respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. That's what we need to get back to. And on the basis for all of those is the golden rule: treat people like you want to be treated, and that's with respect. But respect is not given; respect is earned, and so you need to earn that respect. And that's why I wanted to get involved in the organization, because I felt like we had lost our way. I told him that I've only been a member of VFW for 23 years. I came in 2002. My eligibility was in 1967, so I was out for a long time before I joined. And you asked me earlier why I joined, and I'll come back to that. But it was that we've become civilianized. Right. That we have. I will tell you, and I may get pushback from my comrades, Vietnam comrades, but I think a lot of what is wrong with this nation belongs to us. And we should have learned a lesson that England learned. You cannot appease evil.
Right.
You have to face it. Well, nobody hates war more than another warrior. And so we let things go on.
Mm-hmm.
We'll let it go on, and just to get along. And we've come close to the brink, I think.
Right.
And that's why we need to do what we're doing now.
Right.
Take the nation to be an example for our youth, certainly, and to rebuild the integrity that this country was founded upon.
Let me ask you this, and I know you just joined the VFW in 2020.
2002.
2002. So that's 23 years.
23 years.
So the Vietnam veterans, when you were eligible to become part of the VFW, were you met with resistance from the World War II vets?
Absolutely. And
do you think now that the Iraq and Afghanistan veterans are getting some pushback from these guys from the Desert Storm? Because I'm pretty sure that the Desert Storm guys got the same treatment that you were giving. So it's just this whole cycle, right?
It doesn't change,
right?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No, yeah. No. My service was tougher than your service. You guys had it easy.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I remember when we had to walk up mountains covered with snow, and we had to walk uphill both ways. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you came in and, as well. Did you see that resistance from the Vietnam vets?
Not really resistance until you wanted to do something different.
Mm.
When you wanted to do something different outside the box, when I joined it had always been done this way.
Right.
And that was a huge problem. I mean, the first time me and another young vet at the post going non-smoking on the floor, we made a motion at a meeting to go non-smoking. There were 80-year-old vets come up out of their chairs. I swear to God, I thought they were going to hang us before we got out of that room. I'm looking around going, damn, we just stirred the hornet's nest here.
Yeah.
But, that's what they were all into. But I told them, I said, you're either going to go non-smoking by vote or by attrition.
Mm-hmm.
Well, attrition won.
Yeah.
Eric, I know you're dying to ask us a question, so go ahead and ask the chief a question.
No, I was just laughing because my first boss was a Vietnam veteran, and I tell you, I remember the first day I missed an appointment, and he had a cigar.
A Vietnam veteran?
Yeah, man. When I came in in '88, and he was my boss. He was my first boss, and he had a cigar, man. And I missed an appointment, and then of course Desert Storm happens, and we went over there and knocked on a few doors real quickly, and of course he came back and it was like, yeah, y'all didn't do nothing. You didn't climb that mountain barefoot in the snow or whatever it was. So yeah. So I was just laughing with y'all about having that. That was a great question.
So sorry to interrupt you. Your dog just came up to you, and let me clarify, because we were having this conversation earlier about the name of your dog, and Carol said, "Oh, his name is Shadow." I was like, "I don't think it is." I was like, "No, I don't think it is." And so he clarified it. It's Phantom.
So, and here's something that you need to do a show on.
No,
and I'm not kidding.
Okay.
If Phantom doesn't get called Phantom, his name is Shadow. There's something psychological in every human that I have met.
Yeah. Okay.
That can
is that
speak
right?
English that says
Really?
Shadow. Everybody.
Did not know that.
So
Well,
do a video on that. Do a video on that.
Challenge accepted.
Phantoms,
Yeah.
shadows
Yeah.
are not.
But I tell you what, though, you talk about asking questions and the chief, and I'm honored to be in front of him and Lynn and Caesar, maybe. But anyway,
Yeah, you threw it right back.
we have the VFW has made such great strides. I'm telling you, and I've only I've really been only an active member since I've retired in 2018, beginning of 2019. But the stereotypical VFW is so far away from that. And when you start seeing the marketing that's being displayed out there as far as whether, and really, let's be honest, we market ourselves by getting out in the communities. If those of you who just go out in
Mhm.
your community and just look for a VFW and see what they're doing, the day of service was absolutely amazing. I know here in the state of Alabama, over half our posts participated. And I know just like Texas, I'm sure you guys crushed it out there and all the other VFW posts. But
Largest department
but
in the
the
union.
smoky old bar is not the smoky old bar anymore.
Mhm.
And these are your Vietnam veterans, these are your Desert Storm veterans, these are your Iraq, Afghanistan. They're not involved in smoky old bar. They are so engaged with community, so engaged in legislative. So I appreciate the commander in chief for and the council of administration, because it takes a team. He knows that. The boss knows that. But I appreciate the team and the effort that it's been taken to have podcasts like you on here, Caesar, and to market what the VFW is actually doing.
Yeah. So let me stop you right there real quick. So let me just make this clear. Everybody knows I'm a member of the VFW, right? But this is not a VFW
No,
podcast.
it is not.
It is
Right. That's
it
right.
is by a member, and therefore I am not representing the VFW as a podcast, but I am representing the VFW as an individual that has a podcast that talks about the VFW.
That's right.
And to that point, there sometimes is confusion
Yes.
about who speaks for the VFW.
Mm-hmm.
The commander-in-chief speaks for the VFW.
Right. So Commander,
That's it.
So Chief.
The chief speaks. If I say it's so, it is so, until the council of administration can override me. But there's only one commander-in-chief, and that is very helpful, because when we and again, that I'm not going to allow anybody to insult us or degrade us, and so I've called people out, or not people per se, but those sentiments that they express.
Right.
I call them out, and people want to say you shouldn't do that. No, that's what I should do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we should have been doing for a long time.
Right.
Maybe we wouldn't be in this mess we're in.
Correct.
Amen.
And I've just, because of the people that put me in this office, which is the younger generation, and the Vietnam veterans, they too, but the good old boys did not vote for me, because I'm not playing those.
Correct.
But only one of us at a time, and so right now it's me, and soon it will be Carol Whitmore,
Right.
followed by Tim Peters. Should they again? It's an elected position,
Right.
and it's one that I enthusiastically accepted, because it was one I sought, because again, I didn't like the direction we were going, and in order to make a difference, you have to first be the difference. And this team that Eric is on, Team Tribe 2425, we bonded. We started 4 years ago to build the team
that you have now.
I sent a survey out, just a little questionnaire, because I didn't know who these people are.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to learn. And so that's just simple questions. How long were you in the service? What branch were you in? How long you been in the VFW? What positions have you held? What kind of leadership or civilian experience have you had supervising people? And what's your education? What is your what awards, decorations did you receive, and that sort of thing. And I got to tell you, I don't know whether you're aware of this fact, but We have 52 commanders, 50 states and 2 departments. 47 of them responded to my questionnaire. And of that 47 that responded,
Dudash was not one of them.
no, he was right there. And he printed really good. He prints good. I know
Okay.
he doesn't write worth crap. It's chicken scratching.
Yeah. Okay.
But right. That is true, isn't it, Eric? Because I wouldn't tell a fib, would I?
Never. Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So
$20. $20.
Yeah. So when I asked them how long they'd been in service, those 47 people had spent 700, I think it was 763 or 793 years
Wow.
in the military.
Wow.
Our newest, our newest state commander had been in VFW since 2018.
Wow.
That would have been 4 years since the time I took the survey. And our most senior member joined VFW in 1970.
Wow.
And you've been a member since then. But then I asked them how long they'd been in VFW. And again, they came back with over 500 years
Mm-hmm.
of being associated with the Veterans of Foreign Wars. And at that point, I shared with them that they really could save themselves some time and they could just talk amongst themselves because they have all the answers.
Right.
They just need to talk to each other. And that talking to each other got them talking to each other.
Right.
And they are fired up. We continue to grow, though we're getting close to the end of our program year. Nobody is letting up. Nobody's foot's off the gas. Everybody is continuing, not for themselves, but rather for the organization.
Right.
They're not trying to do this for a hat or a recognition. They're doing this because they understand that the Veterans of Foreign Wars, if it is going to continue to be as influential as it is, must get stronger.
Right.
And must think outside of the box. And they've been the team has been receptive to initiatives that I brought forward. And I think Eric will attest to this. The reason that they have embraced them is because leadership is from the front.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ask them to do anything that I'm not doing or haven't done. And with that commitment, they've accepted it. And we're having just a fantastic year. I couldn't be prouder to serve with people like Eric.
So
and
let me ask you this
you don't have to pay me, Eric. That's that's from my heart, buddy.
Checks in the mail.
Same. Yeah, I only had $20, so you're good.
Okay, good.
Checks in the mail. Don't worry. So let me ask you this then. And I've asked Eric and I've asked Lynn this question before, to where obviously you guys have had time in the command, right? Be it post, be it department, be it district, whatever. You have been in the highest office that the VFW offers. What has been the one thing, the one recurring theme that people have been asking you, or that you hear all the time, or that when people pull you aside and say, hey, this and that, what the one recurring theme that people have said?
They're tired of doing nothing. They want to be active. They joined VFW for a reason. That might have been a personal reason. But most of the time, I can say this because I'm somewhat older than both of you, not put together, but probably close. So people will come to a point in their life where they want to give back.
Mm-hmm.
There's a debt for the space you occupy. And at this point in your lives, and it's, I think really late 40s to 50s and beyond, but you want to get involved with your community. You want to, again, make things better for people,
right?
Better than you had. And they want to know, how can we do that? And that's where initiative and that's where innovation comes from.
What has been your what is the legacy that you want to leave behind?
I would hope that the legacy that I leave behind is that it is okay to step out and lead, because the membership is starving for leadership. We don't need the kind of leadership that says that the beatings will continue until morale improves. That's not leadership. Leadership is getting people to see what they're capable of doing. I can't remember whether it was Drucker or there was another business guru that said, if you'll, something to the effect, if you treat people like they should be, they'll become what they could be. And I think there's that's a very true statement. Let people. When I mentor, I kind of separate it down. If my mentorship is 100%, 80% of that is letting you do what you do. If you seek my counsel, I'll share my counsel. But experience is only gained one way, and that you got to do it. You can't tell somebody how to do it. Yeah. They need to learn it on their own. But now, by the same token, as a mentor, if I see you're going to walk into the wall or jump off the cliff, I'm going to tell you that that's there. I didn't tell you don't go there. I just want you to know there's a cliff there, or there's a wall. And if you want to walk into it, you're going to have to find out. Now you got to solve the problem. Right. So and that last, that's 10% of it. The last 10% is I may speak to you in terms that you understand. I had a young soldier that asked me to mentor him, and I was doing that, and he came up with wonderful ideas, but there's no way they could be implemented if he would have analyzed the size of his post. What he wanted to do would take 5,000 people. Well, we only had a post of 300 and something. And so he accepted that, but then he came back with another one that would have been a national project. And so I came down pretty hard on him. And he told me I insulted him.
Really?
He said, "You've offended me." And, as an infantry soldier, my comment was, "Really? You're offended? It took you this long for me to offend you?" So what you don't understand is what you consider offensive, I consider tough love, because life is hard. You got to do it. Nobody else is going to do it for you, but you've got to you got to do it the right way, and that's right. What we're trying to. So if there's a legacy, Caesar, I would hope that openness, willingness to accept, and be the bridge for the new generation. I'm getting a little long in the tooth, and you and I talked some earlier, that not tonight, but earlier, and that, each of us has an expiration date.
Yeah.
I don't know when mine is, but I do know that I got an awful lot up here over my shoulders in this head, this melon. I need to get it out.
Yeah.
I need to give it to you because it's not going to do me any good. And so I've got to pass that on. And that's important to me.
Yeah.
And that's why I have supported and told your generation, I'm the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make sure that the opportunities are there for you to lead.
Right.
When I speak to VFW members, to speak to comrades from the podium, like at a stake or department or a department or district or post, I will make a comparison. The title I have is a title.
Mm-hmm.
That's not who I am. I am Al. I am Al Lipphardt, and I am the real deal. This ain't made up.
Yeah.
This ain't no shit. This is it. If you like me, good. You don't like me, that's okay too.
Tough shit.
Tough shit. But I'm gonna be me. That's the only person I can be.
Yeah.
But we have to be able to be ourselves and know that the transition is coming.
Right.
And because it is coming.
Right.
And it's coming quick. There's not very many Mr. Hans
No.
still
No.
out there, and
Few and far between now.
few and far
big time.
between. Getting and the Vietnam veteran is we're
Fading fast too.
fading fast. Yeah, our numbers are being decimated,
Mm-hmm.
going pretty quick, and so we have to get this transition done. And I've shared with you and with others, I'm not concerned with your leadership because we all came through the same training. We know how to lead. Some will lead better than others, and that's okay. I mean, that's all part of it. But what I want you to know is, where did this organization come from? What's our legacy?
Mm.
Because we are a legacy organization.
Right.
The military is a legacy entity. Who's joining the military right now? Our relatives.
Yeah.
You know,
It's almost a family. It's almost a family tradition.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And when I talk to the kids, when I talk to high school, when I talk to the VOD winners, I tell them, you know, if you're looking for a career, think about the service.
Mm-hmm.
There's no more honorable career that I can think of than serving this nation. And you know, we're missing love of country.
We are.
When I was brought up, it was my country, live or die. I mean, you know, do or die.
Yeah.
We just out of love. My country was the greatest thing going, and I still feel that way.
So let me ask you this. This may be
It's a hard one.
it's a hard one.
Okay.
You've been in this position for about a year now. You know, close to a year. Have you had any regrets as far as I should have done this instead of this, or do you have any regrets at all that you just went, oh shit, that was the wrong thing to do?
I wouldn't say they're regrets. They're disappointments.
Mm.
And I only make demands on myself. I have very high expectations of other people.
Are you your worst critic?
I'm my own worst critic. But when I'm disappointed with they're well-intentioned,
Mm-hmm.
but I have a job. I have a job for you. Okay. So I give you the job. Nothing's done.
Mhm.
Why aren't you doing it? Well, I don't have time. No, I gave you a job.
Yeah.
You said yes. And I needed you. And so that's disappointing when people don't follow through with their word. Cause that's the only thing that each one of us has that only belongs to us. Nobody can take your word from you. You've got to give it away. And
Have there been lessons learned from these disappointments?
Yeah, they have. And that is, now I'm laughing, but one of the lessons I've learned is I have become a much better delegator.
Okay.
I'm one of those kind of people that if I have to tell you what to do, I'm going to go ahead and do it myself because I can't do that. This is too big. I can't do that. So
was that one of the biggest surprises when you got into office?
Yeah. Yeah. And I was counseled by a very good friend of mine, Maureen, who said, he said, if you run and you get elected, your biggest challenge is you can't do it all yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to let it go and depend on other people. And that was something that bothered me when I got out of the service.
Mm-hmm.
And I became an employee of people. I mean, I would quit. Why would I quit? Because you lied to me.
And you did quit and you started your own business.
Exactly. Because I work well with others. I don't work for others.
Yeah.
I am a team player, but I do, there are things I want to accomplish and again, I've been around the block a couple times and I've taken a lot of classes, and one of the way that I plan things is I start with the end.
Mm-hmm.
I don't start with the beginning. I start with where I want to go to, and then I start backing up the steps.
Right.
My milestones, my benchmarks, and that's the way I get. But I'm extremely humbled by the respect that's been shown to me, and it's
well, I think to your point is the fact that you're up front, you speak your mind, and you don't hold back, and I think a lot of people appreciate that, but then there's those people that are like, "What a dick." I can't believe he said that.
Yeah.
You know, and unfortunately, again, going back to like, you know, agree to disagree point that I made earlier, it's people need to have a little bit more thicker skin when it comes down to, hey, if I'm telling you something, like you said, if I'm mentoring or delegating something, or like you said with the young post commander that wanted to do this and then that, and you offended him. Well, at that point, it's like, okay, constructive criticism, and if it's like you said, it's tough love. You need to grow some thicker skin because it's gonna come. You know, when you get to your level, there's gonna be haters left, right. You know, from every which way you count, and they're gonna be attacking your integrity, attacking every bit of the good. I don't want to say the good fairy good idea fairy, but every bit of decisions that you make are going to be criticized,
right,
and scrutinized to a point where it's just like, what the hell is going on, right?
And fortunately, over the years, I've developed crocodile-like skin because I realize not everybody's going to be happy with Al, and that's okay.
Right.
Because I ain't happy with everybody.
Right.
So
right.
It's okay. And I started to say about the title, the fact that I've had a lot of titles.
Mm-hmm.
because I've done a lot of different things. But with the VFW, when you take all my titles away, what you and I have in common
Mm-hmm.
is we're both members. And that's what the Veterans of Foreign Wars is all about. It's not about the chief.
Right.
It's about the members. If our members would get off their rear ends and put some energy into this organization, do we need more VFW members? Of course we do.
Of course.
But we need more VFW in the members who are already here.
Mm-hmm.
We have the numbers, we have the talent. We just need to exercise it. And if we could do that, we would be an unbeatable force.
Yeah.
But it takes, again, everybody's got to do it their way.
Right.
And it's not for me to dictate. I just want to set the example.
Right.
You know, it's my life mantra, which you know well, is believe in what you do and do what you believe in. Follow me. Follow me part comes from the Fort Benning.
Right. But that's not where it came from.
No, it's not where it came from. It came from the Bible. But
Speaking of the Bible.
Yeah.
You were infantry, correct?
Yep.
And I know we mentioned that last week, and Scott Gadling was actually the one that actually mentioned it, that you, my friend, received an award by the I guess the Infantry Association.
Yes,
is correct.
Yes.
The St. Barbara's is the artillery. St. Michael.
No, the Order of St. Maurice. Maurice was a Roman and a very godly Roman, and the emperor told him to do something, and it was against his faith, what he knew was right, and he refused to do it. So the emperor killed every 10th man in his army. And the emperor thought he had taught him a lesson, and he told him to do another thing. And again, he said, "No, I'm not doing it."
Mm-hmm.
And so the emperor said, "If you don't do it, I'm going to kill every man in your unit."
Wow.
And St. Maurice went to him and said, "Here's the deal." And they said, "We would rather die than dishonor you and what you stand for." And that's I was very humbled to, I was a good soldier and I was a good infantryman, but to receive that honor and that do I think I received it because I'm an infantry soldier? No. I think I received it because I have the utmost respect for anybody that's an infantry soldier.
Right.
Because the last 100 yards belong to us. They can modernize war all they want to, but in the end, there's going to be infantry.
Boots on the ground.
That's going to kick the doors in
Yeah.
and make sure that the peace is secure.
And it's amazing that, the amount of, I don't know, I want to say the people who get chosen for these things is again, few and far between, and I think when you texted me that you had received it, because Scott was the one that actually prompted you to do it, you said that you feel that it was more for the work and the advocacy that you do for the infantry community than it is that you served in the infantry community. So how do you serve? Do you just advocate for them all the time because of you were in infantry? Obviously, you were infantry, and you just want people to know what the infantry is about. Is that what?
Yeah. What it takes to be what it takes to be an infantry soldier.
Mm.
I mean, everybody that dons a uniform should expect that at some point they may be placed in danger. But the infantry soldier knows they're going to be placed in danger because that's their job.
Right.
I don't know whether I shared. Somebody asked me, was I willing to go to war? And my response is, I'd go to war today, but it would be conditional.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the conditions is that again, I'm a warrior. I was trained to do one thing, that's close with and destroy the enemy. To put it in terms that we who are in this business understand, you tell me who you want me to go kill and I'll go kill them, because that's my job. That's what you trained me to do.
Right.
So that's one condition. You got to let me go. I don't need you sitting in Washington, D.C. telling me when I can and when I can't shoot. If the enemy is there, I'm gonna engage him. However I have to engage him. If it's hand to hand, it's hand to hand. But we're going to take care of business, and I'm going to be the winner.
Yeah,
because there's no second place. The second condition is I'm coming home, and the government says, no, you got to stay. Why do I have to stay? I did what you sent me to do. I've destroyed the enemy. Well, we need you to keep the peace. That's not me. I'm a warrior. I hurt people. It's what I do. So if you want somebody to keep the peace, you need to send those that are trained to keep the peace. I was trained
to not make the peace.
Yeah. So the third condition is really my first condition. That's Congressman. When you go, I'll go. If you're not willing to deploy or invest your family, don't ask me to invest mine. War is hell. And war is for everybody. There's not a part of society that should not be engaged in the war effort if we go to war. World War II had it right.
Yeah.
When they left, they understood. We are not coming home until it's done. And they understood that.
That's probably why the reason why they're called the greatest generation.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know, I think there was probably some unintended, well, I know there was unintended consequences with the deployments that you all have endured. I mean, my 2 years in Vietnam, I was gone a year in each one of those. But I understood at the end of the year, hell, I'm coming home. Okay, so I was going to get a break. Now I went back again, but that's okay. I knew when I was coming home. I knew when the rotation was. And so in the recent conflicts, the rotations are much shorter, but they were more often.
Yeah.
And what those in Washington failed to understand is warriors don't have an on and off button. We can't turn it off. You come home and you're pumped. So you don't sleep well at night.
Nope.
And you'll get up and walk around and check all the doors and the windows and make sure the house is secure, and you walk around the house and you'll and you get a little antsy, you get very short-tempered, and
the 1911 right by your side.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And our wives are next to us, and I've kicked my wife a couple times, just in the nightmares that we have. And again, they don't understand the price that our warriors pay,
Right.
for the the sacrifices we made.
Yeah. So
And,
let me ask you this, and I know I don't think I've ever asked you this question, but for you, your generation didn't really know about PTSD.
Right.
They knew there was shell shock, and that's, I've seen the many videos on World War One soldiers where their eyes are just, completely wide open, didn't know, they were shaking, didn't know how
Right.
to communicate and stuff like that. And obviously, the World War One was known as the greatest war, and
war to end all wars.
right, and it turned out that there was a second one that ended up being even worse than that.
Yeah.
And then Vietnam ended up being worse than that. And for me is the fact that all these symptoms and all these things were being seen, but all of a sudden we have a great new word or a great new term, called post-traumatic stress disorder. How did you find the courage, I guess you could say, to seek help at that point? Because I know you suffer from it. How did you come to a point where, like, I have to do something about this?
I really didn't have to, because I'm fine.
Yeah. So the building's on fire right now. You're fine. Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine. So I went in. I'm an agent. I suffer from Agent Orange. So I went to get on the Agent Orange registry, and the intake nurse said, after we went through, where were you and what do you have, and this and that, and she said, do you suffer from PTSD? And I said, no, I'm good. She said, can I ask you some questions? I said, okay. So it seemed like she asked me maybe 4 questions, and she stopped. And I said, what's the matter? She said, sir, you need some help. I said, what are you talking about? She said, you got issues. I said, really? She said, yeah. She said, we're going to make you an appointment with a psychiatrist, and it's tomorrow.
Oh,
really? Yeah. Yes. Well, she wanted to get me in quickly. So I came the next morning to see the psychiatrist, and I'm sitting there. I got there. It seemed like my appointment was at 8:30. I got there at 7:30 because, again,
if you're late, you're on time.
Yeah, exactly.
You're on time, you're late.
Yep. So 9:30 came about. I got no doctor. 10:30 came about. I got no doctor. About 11 o'clock, this guy stands in the doorway. Says, Lipphardt. I said, follow me. So I get up and follow him, and he goes into his office, and his computer's against the back wall, and now he's sitting down facing the wall, and he starts working on his computer and said shit to me. Just type it away. And about a half hour went by, and he said, as he's still typing, he said, Mr. Lipphardt, I see you're here for anger management. And I said, that's what I'm told. And again, still hadn't looked at me, and he said, what are some things that make you angry? And I said,
being ignored.
I said, doctors who show up 2.5 hours late for an appointment. And he turned around and he said, you're angry, aren't you? And I said, oh yeah. He said, do you feel like hurting someone? And I said, not yet. At that point, the conversation was pretty much over. And I told him, I said, listen, I realize I'm simply a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
My value, clearly, I'm not worth what you're worth to society because you're a doctor. I'm just a veteran. But let me tell you something. My life is important. And the disrespect that you've shown me is unacceptable. So don't do it anymore. Let me be the deciding factor. If you're going to be 2.5 hours late, there's telephones everywhere. Call and let somebody come out here and tell me the doctor's tied up. He's going to be 2.5 hours late. Then I'll make a decision whether I'm going to just sit here and wait on you or whether I'm going to go do something else because my life's important too. And yeah, that was how it started off. But they were a very big help because I was having some anger issues. I could go from absolutely calm to berserk and nothing flat. And I didn't get over it. I'd carry it for a week. And it might have been because you parted your hair different and you really pissed me off now. And so I wouldn't let it go.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was it. And when I went to therapy, Carol could really see the difference. Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to play the video of Gunny Hahn.
Okay.
The story. And this is one done by one of my good friends, Bailey Vaughn, who is a K10, the local news reporter here for ABC and NBC. And she did a fantastic job on this little 5-minute video. And every time she sees me or I see her, she's like, "Hey, how's Jim?" I was like, "Another girlfriend." And she's like, "Oh no, he did not." I was like, "Hey, I'm telling you, he's loved by everybody. Like, for whatever reason, he'll go because he's got the Tootsie Rolls." Yeah. He's like, "I'm sorry, he's found another girlfriend. You said you were going to go over there and not talk to him, and you didn't. So that's up to you." But I won't play with that. When we come back, we're going to keep talking to the chief and also to, hey, Eric's still here.
Wow.
Yeah, I know he's still here. He's just being part of the peanut audience. So he's good. But we're gonna keep talking to Lynn, and we're gonna ask him some tough questions, both of these guys, because it's important, and I want to make sure that you guys are taken care of. So when we come back, we're gonna be doing that. But you're listening.
The first hour and a half was just a setup for the kill.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So, but you are listening to the Battle Rhythm Podcast here on the Voice of the People Radio, TV and radio network, also on Busey Digital and on Patriot Radio, and hopefully soon enough on the VFW official podcast. We're talking. Hell yeah. So when we come back, we'll be talking to Commander-in-Chief Lipphardt and maybe Eric. I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed in Eric today. He's just being there. We're just gonna let you go. You're gonna get your email and you're fired. You're no longer an essential employee. So.
He's Mr. Stealth.
That's right. Yeah,
that's right. Silent but deadly. Silent but
Phantom are there. So, but hey, when we come back, we're gonna be talking about these and many other things, and I will be asking you about where is it? Here, I'm just gonna use this. Your congressional
honor the contract.
Yes, honor the contract congressional testimony that you did in March. Because let me tell you, when I watched the whole thing the other day, I was like, "Damn it, I should have gone." Yep. I should have, and I had the invitation to go, and I didn't go because I had class. I had to teach class. So
we missed you.
Yeah, you didn't even know that. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go on break, and when we come back, we're gonna be talking this. And let me go wipe my tears. So we'll be back. You're listening to the Battle Rhythm Podcast here on Voice of the People Radio.
As he approaches his 96th birthday, Jim Hahn still remembers intimate details about his time serving as a Marine in World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War, and he also remembers how it all started.
Mother wasn't going to sign. I told her, I said, if you don't sign this, I'll lie about my age. And she signed.
He was inspired to enlist when walking down the street at 16 years old. He tells K10 he saw some people messing with a Marine and his girlfriend.
They was doing anything they could try to make him mad. He told his girlfriend there to go down and wait for him at the red light at the end of the street there. He turned around and whipped all 4 of those guys.
A year later, he was off to San Diego for basic training. Han joined the occupation force in both China and Japan during World War II, which marks the only time in the history of Japan that it has been occupied by a foreign power. A bitter time these days, though. Gunnery Sergeant Han holds tight to the sweeter moments.
It's going into Japan, there, into town. I seen all these little kids running around there, and they looked like they was hungry and everything else. So I started in and getting candy from our PX and taking it in there and giving it to the little kids. It got to where whenever I'd come inside the city limits, man, here come all these kids.
What he didn't realize at the time, candy would one day become his lifeline. In November of 1950, just a few months after the Korean War began, 8,000 fighters, mostly Marines, were trapped in the Chongjin Reservoir, surrounded by 120,000 Chinese soldiers. And you guessed it, Sergeant Han was one of those Marines.
If somebody told me this, I'd have thought of him as being a liar, because I did not think that it would get 90 degrees below zero. I seen guys just walking along, and all of a sudden I could stop walking, and they just did. They'd freeze to death while they was walking.
Freezing, barely hanging on to life. The Marines called for ammunition using their code word, Tootsie Roll.
I never will forget that. They got on the radio there and talking to them, said, send us some Tootsie Rolls. And they was talking about ammunition, a certain type of ammunition.
Well, the soldier on the other end of that radio took the message literally, and they dropped into the reservoir Tootsie Rolls.
Here's just 3 planes there coming out with these parachutes coming down there with Tootsie Rolls. It's supposed to be ammunition, but it's Tootsie Rolls. But if it hadn't been for them, a lot of us, including me, would probably starve to death.
Those little chocolate candies were the fuel that sustained the troops. All other provisions were frozen, so they survived on the chocolate.
It seemed impossible that they was there for any other reason than to save my life. I thank God many times for the fact that I lived through all of it. Didn't lose any arms or legs or anything out of way. I sat in this foxhole, and people all around me freezing. And some reason or other I didn't.
He says all he thought about was his next breath and how he would use it.
I don't know, I still think about it sometimes. And I know that God saved me from it. Try to thank God 3 or 4 or 5 times a day about that.
Decades later, Sergeant Han literally holds on to that memory with a bucket of Tootsie Rolls made specifically for him with American flags after the company heard his story. Those Marines that made it out are now revered as the heroes of the Frozen Chosen. But this one calls Texoma home, and he chooses to spend his time right here in the Sherman VFW.
I feel like they're brothers. This, to me, is part of the military.
As this veteran reflects on a life of service most would never know, Han would do every second of it again. The few, the proud, the Marines. It was such an honor to be able to sit down with Jim, and I just want to say right here on the record, thank you for your service. Not only a World War II veteran, a 3-war veteran. He decided to just keep going back. I know.
And you know, I had heard that, I knew that there was something involving Tootsie Rolls, but that was the first time I actually heard that full story, and that is so incredible.
And he's just...
My name's Richie Honori from the multi-platinum Duke of Suite. We all can agree to help our vets. Music changes the world. We're musicians bounded together, making a difference for our vets. With the Veterans First Initiative, you can make that difference too. Go to vetsinneed.org, vetsinneed.org. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Battle Rhythm Podcast. I am Caesar, and you're back here with us on Voice of the People Radio and TV Network, BUC Digital, and also on Patriot Radio. And you just heard from Richie Honori from Veterans First Initiative. And let me tell you something. The Battle Rhythm Podcast is very, very happy to have a partnership with Veterans First Initiative and People for a New America. The person that actually is the founder of that is Richie Honori, who has been one of my guests here. And as you heard, he's from the multi-platinum band, The Suite. So what's happening here is that they are putting together a telethon on June 7th. And it's going to be an 8-hour telethon. It's going to be 4 cities: LA, Chicago, Toronto, and Phoenix. And they're going to be putting on a great show. There's going to be a lot of bands, a lot of different interviews with people. And they chose my show to actually do a lot of the interviews with veterans, disabled veterans, and also with families, and with other band members, other acts that are going to be coming onto the telethon. So I've been doing that, and I'm just honored of the fact that they saw the show and they're like, "Perfect, you're a veteran, you're doing this," and we're also we're partnering up with another organization called the Disability Channel, which is up in Canada, in Toronto. They're trying to bring their programs down here to the U.S. So what they do is that they provide training for veterans that are looking to change jobs, and they provide veterans in production, post-production, and also in how to be a host, how to start your own podcast, how to start your own show and everything. So they show them exactly. They go through a course. I don't remember. I believe it's a week course that they go through, and they'll be able to do all this, media stuff. So the great thing about it is that I have been able to find these things, and now I have a bigger knowledge of other organizations. The biggest reason why I started this podcast when I first started it was the fact that I started it as an informational channel for the post. I started to make sure that other veterans knew of organizations, of things to do that are able to help, the veteran, because a lot of times we don't get the help from the VA, and we have to go find our own thing to do through. And a lot of these are nonprofit organizations. So if you're able to donate to veterans in veteransinneed.org, please do so. It's a great organization, and one of the organizations that I spoke to, it's called Promising People. They are out of Florida, and these guys it's a top-notch type of training that they do. And did we lock them out? No, we didn't. All right, come on in, Chief. One of the things that they do as far as the training is that they have these virtual reality glasses. Remember, we were talking about technology?
Yes, sir.
They have these virtual reality glasses that will teach people, like electricians, nurses, things like that. And they're able to, they'll send these goggles or these VR glasses to the veteran's home at no cost to the veteran. What'll happen is that these guys are actually finding ways to get federal grants in order for them to actually be able to take the training. And such a great program. And you know what I mean? Because a lot of us have issue with going to a class or being in large crowds and things like that, that we would want to take the training at home. We feel much safer at home, because we have issues with traveling or people with big large crowds and things like that. So we would much rather do it at home. And it's such a great thing, the fact that it's at no cost to the veteran or no cost to the person. So I was just telling Lynn, Chief, that I partnered up, the Battle Rhythm Podcast is partnered up with an organization called veteransinneed.org, Veterans First Initiative, and People for a New America. And it's through a gentleman by the name of Richie Honori, who is a multi-platinum Grammy Award winner with the band The Suite. They did the song Ballroom Blitz, and I'm going to play it for you here in a second, because it's important for us for the VFW and for me, they chose my show to be able to do interviews, such as like you, because the VFW, we've been talking about marketing and helping out, being involved in the community. And if there's organizations out there that are non-veteran organizations that are helping, non-veteran ran organization that are helping veterans, why not partner with them? You know what I mean? They want to help us.
Yes.
One of the things that they're giving is that they're doing is raising money to give gift cards for veterans to go out and purchase groceries. And again, a lot of this stuff, in LA has a huge problem with homelessness, and a huge majority of homeless there in LA are veterans. And I know that for a fact because I worked in some of these when I was in the Guard. Our offices would open up for them to actually come in during the winter as a shelter. So that's how I know there's a big population for homeless veterans. So, but I'm gonna play the little intro that they have put together, and let me tell you, Chief, this is why I got involved, because people like this is, we're talking about the unsung heroes. Richie's one of them, and his team has just been remarkable. And you've met Tom Cass, I call him Hurricane Tom, and he has his own. Well, he had his own Vegas show before COVID happened, and obviously, everything went kind of haywire, and now he's promoting, other things, and he's just a force of nature. So I'm gonna play this for you real quick because, like I said, I feel it's very important that we as an organization partner up with organizations like this, because they want to help veterans, and what better way to do it than to seek those partnerships and relationships with those organizations. So I'm gonna play this real quick for you, and you can hear it and see what you think.
My name's Richie Onori with the Multi-Platinum Group, The Suite. We all owe a debt to our veterans. It's time to give back. With the Veterans First Initiative, you can make that difference right here and right now. I want you right now to open up your wallets and go to vetsinneed.org, vetsinneed.org, and make that difference our vets deserve. Thank you.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah. Just from his heart.
Right?
Yeah.
And the guy's, he's like, Caesar, you can call me anytime. And I probably just should call him right now and be like, Richie, you're on there. And meet the chief. You know what? I'm going to call him, because that's exactly what we need to do here. The Richie is such a great dude. And he was so excited when I told him that you were coming on the show, because he said, Caesar, that's remarkable, the fact that you were able to do that. And I was like, look, after I talked to the chief, on a one-on-one, it was like, I was humbled at the fact that he was like, no, let's do this. Like, let's just go for it. Okay. It's your show. You do what you want to do. We'll do it. So, I'm just so happy the fact that we're able to help others, and through this platform, I'm able to get the word out that there's this telethon is going to come through, and again, it's going to be it's pretty cool, and I'm going to be on it. I'm going to be on it. So
donations just went down.
Yeah, exactly. Damn it. VFW is no longer there. We're losing members by the minute. So anyway, no, but it's cool. What would you think about VFW actually being, one of the premier partners in this?
Absolutely. We have to open up and be willing to reach out.
Right.
And again, I get it. Our membership is our membership.
Yeah.
But there are, one of the lessons that I've learned in life is to just say yes. When an opportunity comes or somebody asks you to do something, just say yes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It wouldn't have come to you if it wasn't the right thing. And so what you're saying yes to is the opportunity. Now you owe it to yourself to further look at it. But if you say no, you miss out on so many things.
Right.
If you're looking for somebody to do something, find the busiest person you can find, because they don't say no. They say yes.
Right. Yeah. The right people will say right. Yes. You know, and again, it's one of those things where you definitely have to be involved. And man, I day of service, you know, that we just had, you know, this whole month of May, because you have 30 days to submit all your stuff, and ours is coming up on the 18th, and every year we've partnered up with the Grayson Foundation, which is what they do is they give out boxes of food for it's like a food bank, really. And the best part about it is that, you know, you get to, as a member, you get to obviously wear your hat and wear your shirt, says, you know, still serving, and not. It's more rewarding giving back, and people were like, "Oh, you're part of a VFW. Yeah, come to our post, see what it's like. It's fun," said everybody. It's gone there. Why shouldn't you? You know, please come out and be with us. And I'm just so, you know, sometimes I'm in awe of the fact that people never knew about the VFW. And, you know, you come out there with a shirt and, you know, start, you know, serving out there, and they're like, "You guys, this is what you guys do?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is what we do all the time." And, you know,
that's what I say. I think again, we had lost our way. We are, you know, the purpose of the VFW's patriotic, fraternal. My mind has gone blank.
Yeah. Well, you're tired too.
I am a wee bit tired. Fraternal, patriotic, historical, charitable, and educational. But we're not a fraternity.
No,
we're a service organization, and we get our fun out of doing service.
Yeah,
and we get our service out of having fun, because they go together. If it's a drudgery, no. But it's so rewarding to when you've helped someone.
All right.
That's so important.
Yeah. And, you know, this organization is that the VFW, one of the reasons why I got involved is because we need to be part of the community. And by being part of the community, that's one way of doing it and spreading out. So I'm
gonna hear me all right? You guys hear me?
Yeah, well, go ahead.
I'm finally gonna chime in.
Oh, Jesus.
About time.
Yeah, I know. You know, I know. But you know what it reminds me of, we're just talking about. And I credit my dad, who's passed, a Vietnam veteran, but he said to me when I was coming up, he said, "Don't just be part of something, do something while you're a part of something."
There you go.
And you know what? To share that, to hear what we're doing, you know, how easy it is in your community to complain about the sidewalks cracked. I don't know, I'm making that up, right? But are you going to be a part of help fixing that sidewalk? You know, we can all complain. It is so easy to complain and complain. It is the easiest thing you could do.
Yeah.
Complain. Yeah. Complain about everything. You're gonna help your community, you're gonna help your brothers and sisters, your comrades. You know, you're gonna help educate, you're gonna help inspire. So that's kind of, you know, I just had to add that in there. My dad just reminded me when you guys were talking, my dad was ringing in my head about don't just be part of something, do something while you're a part of something. I had to share that.
What's that adage? If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
Yeah,
that's right.
So I'm gonna call Richie because I really want you, I really want you to hear from him.
Okay.
And again, this guy, if you guys have ever seen that movie Wayne's World, his song was the song.
Oh, okay.
You know, when Tia Carrere was like, you know, ballroom bliss. She's, I mean, I still love her. Tia Carrere, are you listening? I was 17. So let me call him real quick, and we'll put him on the phone because, like I said, this guy is just an awesome dude, and I love him to death. Here we go.
This is Rich.
Richie, it's Caesar.
Hey, Caesar.
You are live, my friend, on the Battle Rhythm podcast. And guess who I'm with, sir?
Tell me.
Oh, my friend, I am here with three very, very, very special guests. The first is Eric Dudash, the current VFW commander for the Department of Alabama. He is on the podcast. The second is the past VFW Department of Texas commander, Lynn Toomer. And last but not least is our current VFW National Commander, Al the Real Deal Lipphardt. And I've been telling them about the telethon that we are going to be hosting on June 7th and how I got involved and how I have been honored to be part of this telethon and do these interviews for the telethon and with veterans and with people of different organizations. And I've been telling them about what your foundation has done for the veterans. So, but I want Chief to hear it from you. So, Richie, I present to you Al Lipphardt.
Hey, Richie.
Hey, Al, how you doing?
I'm great. It's good to hear your voice. I got to see a little bit of a video that I like your approach. You don't beat around the bush, brother. Do it now.
I'm a drummer. I am a drummer, and I do beat.
Okay, that's good. I could tell. Yeah, that was good. That was good.
I'm sorry. Okay.
No, you're fine. You got that beat was really good. That crash came in time. So, but Richie, tell the commander a little bit about the telethon and what we are raising money for.
Well, it's amazing. I mean, really, Jesse Moore, he helped me do the Unity, Peace, and Freedom Festival, and he was like my right-hand man. We did that in L.A. with a bunch of multi-platinum groups. And, of course, when you bring entertainment, it's always the key thing to get attention onto, to put the spotlight. And so, I play in a multi-platinum group, and the day, October 26th last year, that's what we did. We had major groups play for the Unity, Peace, and Freedom Festival. And so that led to what are we going to do next? And so we have different buckets, part of People for a New America. I'm the founder and the executive director of the organization. Been around quite a while, but the things, it's about making our country better. And really, all the things, health and wellness, all these various buckets that we're getting funding in right now. But what we really want to do is get into the veterans. That was our next one of the buckets. I call them buckets. Let's just say the area that we feel the attention needs to be put on the spotlight. So the veterans was our next. So Jesse had something called the Veterans First Initiative that he had since 2014. And that's about really bringing people together to really take care of. I mean, there's no reason in the world there should be homeless vets unless they want to be that way.
Yeah.
There's just no reason in the world.
Yep.
And so that's pretty much what we stand for. So with gift cards and being prepared with what we're doing for the telethon, we're bringing a lot of different we've got right now, maybe you heard about it. We've got Phoenix on board, Ontario, Canada, and with us in LA doing the show and then in Illinois. So it's 8-hour telethon, and it's about bringing this awareness together and then building this up to a big concert. We're looking for, hopefully in November, we plan on launching that and really bringing, really raising a lot of money and really awareness for our incredible veterans like yourself. So it's an honor to meet you, sir.
Well, thank you very much, Richie. And that is a great effort that you're making. And you're right. When we have all these vacant buildings across the nation, and we have veterans who are homeless, it's just terrible. Yeah.
It's pathetic.
It's just not right. It's just not
No.
right. And you're right. Now
No.
that, you know, there are some veterans out there who,
Choose.
yeah, they
choose to be
that way, and that's okay. That's their choice. But the vast majority of them, it's not their choice. It's just their circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
And when the government says we can't do enough, they're absolutely right, because they're not. And it's but that being said, I'm one of those that I really don't want my government to be doing it. We need to do it ourselves. We need to take
Thank
care
you.
of
It's about
ourselves.
we the people coming together. That's correct.
Absolutely.
Good one, Al. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have to pull this together, and the government will do so much. We need to bring awareness. The over drugging, the suicides. There's just so much that is affecting, and it's got to stop. And it's us taking responsibility and building that grassroots movement together, and that's why it's so important we all come together. And this will be our first telethon. Next year we'll have another telethon. It'll be that much bigger. We'll have some big sponsors on. But this one's going to be great. We're excited about it. Great entertainment. We're showing a lot of the different groups that played the day at the Unity, Peace, and Freedom Festival on the LA segment, and that's from a lot of older groups. Some of the young folks might not know, but we had anything from Carmit from the Pussycat Girls, dolls. But then we have, Iron Butterfly and The Main Ingredient. Everybody plays a fool. And Tierra, that incredible band, that Latin American band that's phenomenal. They sell out the Greek. And then, of course, my band, the Sweet Ballroom Blitz, Fox on the Run, and all that. And so we're going to have, and then we brought in the Pink Floyd crowd, too, with Scotty Page, who's a sax player, and then the girls from Pink Floyd, and Steve Perkins on drums from Jane's Addiction. So we're going to be showing clips from that, and a lot of entertainment that day. So June 7th, put it in your calendar. Everybody listening into this, join us, get, your friends and family, watch parties, whatever it is. But it's time to really put the attention on it because a lot of times, I'll tell you this, guys, what happens is a lot of these things, these causes get, even with the bigger stars, they get circumvented in some way.
Yeah.
But we need to build this together in real time. So that's what we're doing. And it's a pleasure that I'm so glad. Caesar's just been amazing.
Yep. He's an amazing guy. The pushback that I get, is we're veterans. We need to focus on veterans issues, not social issues. Homelessness is not a social issue. It's a veteran issue. And again, there's strength in numbers, and the more that we can join towards a mutual benefit, we need to do. So I'm an outlier with the organization because I am I'm an old infantry soldier, and if I can bring a force multiplier to bear, then that's what I need to do. And so I'm trying to get the organization to be more receptive to reaching out there. Everybody needs to help.
Well, that's what moves the needle. Okay. Yeah. Because if you look at American with Disabilities, ADA. Okay. I was with a gal in New Mexico. I'm no longer with her, but she was very involved with getting the ADA passed. Well, that was a bill, but using that same, philosophy, they were able to get 100 nonprofits together to get that passed. So it's exactly what you're saying. We all have to come together. If everybody stays in their own little sector, that we're not going to move the needle. So that's what's so important. We all need to come together as one united front to really get things rolling.
And anything is possible as long as you don't mind who gets the credit.
Yeah,
I don't need the credit.
The people need the credit.
People need the credit. We need to. Again, there can't be an agenda. There can't be a selfish motivation. You do it because One of my favorite sayings is that there's never a wrong time to do the right thing, because the right thing needs to be done, and you just got to do it. So if it passed you by before, now it's here. Take advantage of it. Get involved.
Yeah, we can make the world is it's primed and ready for a change.
It is,
and the veterans are a key thing. And then from health and wellness, that's another. Like I said, that's another bucket, and we're going to be addressing that. And natural ways to heal. These where we've been led as a nation, and there's so many people sick, and so it's time for a change. And I think the time is right now, and that's what we stand for here. And we're just happy that that I'm very grateful that we're having this conversation right now, Al.
Yeah, I'll certainly tune in June 7th.
Excellent.
We'll see what we can do.
And Richie, I have a challenge for you, sir. So I was talking to the commander earlier today, and the VFW National Convention is going to be coming up here in August. Well, normally we would have some type of entertainment here and there, and I mentioned, hey, I might know a guy. Talking about our mutual friend, the Tom the Hurricane Cass, and I said, I also know another guy who might be interested in perhaps sending people, or maybe even coming out himself to do ballroom blitz out here, because we're going to have a room full of about 10,000 people for this convention. And man, it would be awesome for you to show the gratitude, to the veterans themselves. The VFW is the largest veteran organization that you have, 1.4 million members out there. And we would be honored if you would, think about coming out to joining us and maybe doing, several songs for us out here in the National Convention. And
going to be in Columbus, Ohio.
It'll be in August.
Fantastic. Yeah. What date is it?
The 9th of August to the 13th. It's 4 jam-packed.
Yeah, because
days.
I've got Canadian dates that I play with my group Sweet, but we haven't booked those, which means I could probably swing down.
Yeah.
And in fact, I think we've got a show coming up in Ohio as well. So wouldn't that be interesting?
Mm-hmm.
That would be awesome.
So, yeah. So there you have it.
You'll be joining names like other great artists that they've been great partners with the VFW, like John Rich from Big and Rich, and
sure.
Other people like that. And Richie, this is right up your alley as far as helping out veterans, and us helping your organization as well, because I think that is the way that I was telling the commander, the VFW needs to be involved in other community aspects of it, and he wholeheartedly agreed, and he kicking me underneath the table here saying, shut up.
We're a lot of our posts are just now figuring out that our membership comes from our communities. And if the community doesn't know who we are, if we're not out there doing good in the community, they're never going to want to join us.
Yeah.
But if they see we care, when we do care, that they're going to want to be part of us, because everybody wants to be part of a winner. And the Veterans of Foreign Wars, I'm very proud to say that the Veterans of Foreign Wars has changed direction this year, and that direction is moving forward. We're no longer sitting on our haunches, fat, dumb, and happy. We are behaving like the warriors that we are, who understand commitment and dedication, and what hard work is all about, sacrifices that have to be made. And we need to impart that with our communities, because there's no such thing as free. Mm-hmm. There's a price to pay.
And the ultimate price that many of our comrades have made.
Yep.
And on the field, and also at home, because they brought the field home.
Yep.
You know,
And that's that's not a 2-day remembrance or celebration. That's for the rest of their lives.
yeah. So, but with that, Richie,
I know. Yeah, it's about being proud, standing proud, all our service people, and standing behind them, and the greatest things. And there's so many organizations.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is one big united front, and there should never be. I shouldn't be going through LA and seeing the homeless. That's no way.
Yep.
That's got to end. And there should be no reason there should be suicides 45 a day. That's ridiculous. So there's stuff that has to be addressed, and as ugly as it needs to be confronted, it needs to be confronted. It's got to end, and it takes us as a united front to do that.
Yep.
That's what I stand, and that's what we're doing. Al, what's your Al? What's that short for? Is that Alan, Albert?
It's Alfred.
Oh, you're an Alfred. Okay.
I'm an
my
Alfred.
dad was. Oh, okay. Yeah. My dad was Albert.
Albert.
So he was a big Al too. So,
Yeah, so when so when someone calls me Alfred, I immediately perk up because I'm paying attention now. And if you follow that up with Alfred Joseph, I'm running away because I know I'm in
Mom's
trouble.
coming to
Mom's
get
in
me.
trouble. Yeah.
Yeah.
And only your wife does that now, huh?
Exactly. Yeah. I know I'm in trouble.
that's it. Yeah, you're funny. That's exactly right.
Yeah. Well,
I
Rich,
can't outdo that. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad you guys touched base with me now. It's a pleasure to meet you, Al.
Richie, it was great to talk to you. Thank you.
and
I
hopefully
appreciate it.
we'll be able to see you at the National Convention. We'll definitely talk dates and see what we could do and details.
Yeah, let's figure it all out. Perfect.
Because that'd be great. First of all, to be there, because the Battle Rhythm podcast will be doing some live shows from there. FYI. So
well, I have some. I personally being in Suite's one thing, but me as a solo artist, I've got songs like American Fighters and Come Together with the United, the USA.
Exactly.
And these songs, I've got the guys from Clapton's band joining me, and the Eagles, and
Wow.
so they're pretty tremendous. My songs, my songwriting, and I've held it back for a reason, but it has gotten exposure. But it's right up there. It's the right message, right time.
And the world premiere will be on the Battle Rhythm podcast.
I'm telling you.
All right, Richie, thanks so much for taking our call. We appreciate you, and I'm looking forward again to seeing you here at the telethon on June 7th. Again, June 7th will be the telethon coming to you live, some parts live from LA, Chicago, Toronto, and Phoenix will be the four chosen cities for this telethon. So, Richie, I bid you adieu, my friend. I hope you're doing well, and I will see you very, very soon.
Have a great night, gents. Talk to you later.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You too.
That was Richie
That's
Onari.
Richie, yeah, that's great.
Cool dude, man. I'm telling you, every time I talk to him, he gets cooler by the minute.
In class, that was networking 101.
Yes, networking 101. And
Big time.
Yeah. So again, like we were talking, that's literally marketing, free marketing that we're getting, right? Eric, you were talking about marketing earlier. And
I know.
It's just things just kind of land themselves. And people, like you said, use the talent that you have within to be able to make these connections that we probably didn't have.
Right.
Right. And
It's kind of like what the chief was saying earlier. You just got to be willing to talk. That's all.
Yeah.
Conversations happen. As long as you got an open ear, open heart, good
Yeah.
things come from it. I can tell you that.
All right. So real quick, we have to do this because the main sponsor for this is here today, EGA Construction. And I know we're already out of time. We're over time that we're allotted here. But that's okay because EGA Construction will take care of that for today. So
Yes.
So I am about to do this to you. You already know this. Eric already knows this. And the mayor actually warned you about this.
Oh yeah, here comes the
Here
question.
comes the questions. This is the segment known as Rapid Fire Questions is brought to you by EGA Construction. Who the owner of EGA Construction is here. Lynn Toomer.
Hell yeah.
There it is. Hell yeah. So the whole premise of this game is to answer the questions as quick as you can without thinking about anything. So whatever I ask you. So these guys are already what do you say? Masters at this because they've been playing this for quite a while. So I'm going to give you an easy question to answer. All right. What is your favorite book?
Patton.
Patton. There you go. Okay. What is your favorite holiday?
4th of July.
There you go. See?
Independence
Easy questions.
Day.
Easy questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can do this.
All right. There you go.
You didn't prep me. I can do this.
Now, easy
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah. All right. Your biggest regret?
Not doing this sooner.
Damn. That was quick. That was
That's a
good.
good answer.
That was a good
too.
answer. Yeah.
Good one. Good one.
What is your biggest disappointment?
Not doing this sooner.
No,
Another good one.
podcast sooner. Yeah. Not doing the podcast sooner. That's the one. Yeah. If you were president for one day, what would be the one thing that you would change?
I would try to get rid of as much bureaucracy as I possibly could.
Is that not happening right now? It's
Uh,
happening right now, isn't it?
yeah, there's a guy doing it right now.
That you went to his inauguration.
I did, and I must tell you that I'm one of those people that is very pleased with what I see.
Right.
I'm not. I do need to put a caveat on that.
Yeah.
I'm pleased with the effort, not necessarily the method. It needs to be done, but it needs to be done in an orderly fashion, not chaos. There'll be a lot more support if people can understand. I mean, you're looking for a short answer, and I'm going on.
Yeah.
But
It's okay. You're paying for this. It's
yeah,
fine.
okay. Well, there you go. So, boys and girls, sit back.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be here for a while.
Let me just warn my my control room. Hey guys, we're staying here till 11. I guess.
No, it's again, it would be to make things simpler.
Yeah.
I guess that's the way I'm putting it.
All right. So, if the national convention's coming up, what is the one thing that you really want to see?
I want to see pride in the organization, pride of what our accomplishments have been.
And do you have a leading candidate for the junior vice?
I must plead the fifth on that.
That is not a good answer. Damn it. I thought I had him. All right.
You're not that quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When are you visiting Fort Hood?
I hope to visit in either July or August, the beginning of August.
Okay.
But that's a hope.
No.
And
I need
know.
I need a definite.
Yeah, hope is not a plan.
No.
Yeah, hope's not a
I
plan.
knew a hope, and she was great.
Yeah.
Uh,
I can't commit until I can commit.
I don't know about that, Chief, because you committed to this.
Well, I know I did, and this is out of the norm. But Norm's not here.
Neither is Carol.
Yeah.
That's right, Carol.
I want to get there, and I am going to get there. Yeah, I may not be the chief when I get there,
As long as you get there,
but I'm coming.
because it all started when you were pretty much a junior.
Yeah.
So to see it and to go full circle, and being that it's Fort Hood, you have some of the post members are constellations. You know what I mean? So I would think it would be important for the organization to be there.
Well, it's important for me to be there.
Yeah.
So one of the things I learned in officer candidate school was when you take care of the troops take care of you.
Yeah.
and that's what I've always done.
So that was a Willie Keller question, and he owes me $20 now.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Well,
So just FYI.
but Willie, I'm coming.
There you go. You have a
Got a question for me?
We were just there.
You want to know who I'm supporting for candidate?
yeah. That's why he volunteered to pick you up. I got it. Wow. Okay, I see how it is.
We have not had any conversations concerning that at all.
Yeah. None. So, all right. Final questions. Will you be back to the show?
Pardon me?
Will you be back to the show?
Oh, of course. Yeah. By the way, I also have a nickname. It's Easy Al.
Real deal, easy
Yeah.
easy there, Al. Is that what you guys says? Easy there, Al.
Easy.
Okay. All right.
Don't get over your skis.
All right. Which is your favorite department?
Oh, come on now.
Shut up, Peanut Gallery.
Mute.
I must claim the fifth.
Not even Georgia? Oh, dang. Okay.
No.
Dang. Nope. Too late, Chief.
I must be neutral.
Rapid fire.
All right. You said you had 52 commanders, right? We have 50 states and 2 departments, right?
Correct.
Which one of those 2 departments is your favorite?
The European Pacific Department.
I wonder why. I guess go to Hawaii. Let's see.
I just combined those 2 departments.
Yeah.
They just became one.
Yeah, I know, right? Hey, did you know that the Department of Texas actually has a post
Yes, I do.
in Panama?
Yes, I do.
Have you been to Panama yet?
Yes, I have. Not with the VFW. I went to Panama when I was stationed at Fort McPherson, Georgia.
Sweet.
I handled the intelligence contingency funds for
Got it.
Panama.
So I'm counting on you
Yeah.
to strong arm Carol Whitmore, because I have been trying to get her since you left office to come in this show. And she said, yeah. I'll call you to do it. So you are going to be my catalyst now
It's good to be chief.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So the real deal is going to, make this happen.
Yeah, this should be a rite of passage for all national commanders and chiefs.
And Chief, did you actually know? So I don't know if you knew this, but the Battle Rhythm podcast was the first, and I think I won over. Yeah, I was the first to actually have all 3 of the candidates for the junior national vice commander-in-chief to come and do an open forum, not a debate, an open forum. And I take pride in that because I actually beat the official VFW podcast, and I got a lot of not negative, positive comments that like, hey, this is what we need. And again, it was an honor for me to actually have all 3 of them, that they agreed to do it. And I knew 2 of them would. The third one, it was like, okay, he may be able to, but he did it. And it was great. And
It was awesome.
And oh yeah, Eric was the co-host on that too.
So while I was campaigning,
and
there were 4 of us in the race, I suggested more than one time, let's just stand on a stage, all 4 of us. Let's just open the floor to questions.
Hell yeah.
They can ask us whatever they want to ask us. Oh, we can't do that. So why not? Well, how are we going to know what they're going to ask? Do you think when you're commander-in-chief, you're not going to get a question from somebody that is out there in left field? But I could not get them to do it.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah.
I mean, I just said, what do you got?
Yeah.
Ask me.
So
Because when I give you an answer, it's from the heart, and you can ask me that same question later on.
Oh, I'm going to ask you who you were rooting for after you get out of office.
Yeah.
So it's coming back.
Then I can. Then I can tell you after I get out.
So I'm making this proposal to you now, and hopefully you'll pass it down on your book of secrets when you guys have your little book.
Yeah.
That the Battle Rhythm podcast will be able to do those type of open forums for the national candidates.
Okay.
Because I think that's important for a lot of our comrades that aren't able to attend the national convention and or the conferences for their the Southern Conference or the Northern Conference or the the Big Ten or whatever, to see what the platform is for those guys. Because even in your own conference, you don't get to go, right? A lot of our comrades don't get to go to even a district meeting and or a state convention.
When you go to a district meeting as a post member, your eyes are opened up. That, wow, this is bigger than I thought.
Yeah. Then
you go to a state meeting, you go, wow,
yeah,
this is really big. Go to a national convention, go,
yeah,
holy shit.
Yeah. So I just got thrown some pretty bad things right now. Mr. Some guy named Scott Gedling. He says, hey, well, what about Scott's Construction? And I got him to come on your show. So with that said, the Battle Rhythm podcast has been brought to you by Scott's Construction LLC. So thank you, Scott, for being one of our sponsors for the show. And yes, sir, you did. You were very, very, very instrumental in getting the chief into the show. And thank you for making that connection and for you accepting it.
And Scott will understand. Again, I must plead the fifth. I cannot answer the question of who am I supporting, the Commander-in-Chief.
Well, he actually just texted said that it's him. So there you go. There you go, Scott. See? Yeah, thank you for your support, buddy. So the mayor of Sherman, Sean Tiemann, also texted me and said, great show. Thank you for coming out and seeing the lights of Sherman, even though it was just a pass through. Yeah. Denison, here the great downtown. So with that, I must say that we've definitely ran a longer show than most we've ever had. And Chief, thank you so much for being a guest and being so kind to actually pleading the fifth and not answering any of my questions. I'll get you one day.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will get you one day.
Absolutely.
Lynn, thank you so much for joining us today, or just being the Uber.
Uber has been here forever.
That's right. That's right. And now you know how it feels to be in the Navy. So, Eric, thank you so much for jumping in and not saying anything. So I should have just.
Hey, it's always an honor. I'm here.
You are, and that's a nice little shirt you got there. I don't know where mine is. You never sent it to me.
They got them at the store. I think you can get them at the store. Go on to VFW.org. Go to the store.
Yeah.
See, I actually don't know what the site is, but it's the store.
Yeah. So Eric is actually running for one of the chairs in the Southern Conference, and he will be joining the Department of Texas State Convention. So he'll be coming out, and apparently some dude by the name of Caesar is going to be picking him up from the airport.
And Taco Cabana, yes.
We're not going to Taco Cabana. You need to stop it with that right now, sir.
I'm trying.
We'll take you to a very, very good place on Harry Hines Boulevard.
All right. Sounds good. I don't know what that is.
You don't want to know.
Yeah. Harry Hines Boulevard is a very well-known place where many, many things happen that...
well, it sounds like I'll have a new nickname, like I'll be Easy Eric. Yeah.
Easy, Eric. Easy.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that we've come to the end of the show. And again, thank you to EGA Construction, Scott's Construction LLC, Busey Digital, Patriot Radio, and also my dear friends from the VOP, Voice of the People, USA Radio TV Network. It was great having the Commander-in-Chief, Al Lipphardt, and Lynn Toomer here. Eric Dudash, and also impromptu visit from Richie Honori from the People for a New America and Veterans First Initiative. And I'm telling you what, if we're able to land him to come out and do the show at the National, because I've heard from Little Birdie that we may be not having some entertainment this year. So
it'll be different.
It'll be very different. Yeah. So we'll see what we can do. Networking is the way to go. So again, the Battle Rhythm podcast will be back next week with Who we having? Oh yeah, the disability channel from Canada, which is another one of the organizations I partnered up with through the People for New America and the Veterans First Initiative.
Great.
They will be here next week, and they will be telling us all about their initiative and how they actually get veterans to do. I was telling Lynn how to do post-production, podcast, being host. And so that's what they do with the training. And then we'll also be having another guest as well. They're going to be talking about their organization. So it's going to be a great show next week. And we're just so excited to have hosted you here tonight. And thank you for being a great guest.
I've enjoyed it.
And thank you to the control room, Chris and Bubba, for putting up with us today, and thank you for Split Window Studios and here at Podcast on Main. So thank you guys so much for being here. I will see you guys next week, and like always, be good to one another. And I will see you guys next week. Be good, my friends. Don't do anything I wouldn't do because I've already done it.
Thank you for watching. As we wrap up today's show, we want to extend our heartfelt thanks to each and every one of you for tuning in. Your support and engagement means the world to us, and we hope you found today's content insightful and entertaining. This episode, along with all previous shows, is available on all major media platforms. Whether you prefer to listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or watch YouTube, we got you covered. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review to help us reach more listeners just like you. We'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback. Connect with us on social media, where you can join us in our conversation and stay updated on the latest news and episodes. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you once again for being part of the Voice of the People, USA Radio, and TV Network. We look forward to bringing you more exciting content in our upcoming episodes. Until next time, take care.